The day of the shooting, it was the same old day. You know, we grabbed drinks, grabbed breakfast. We're looking forward to the last night, and we ended up going a little later than usual. We got there when Rob and Big sang "God Bless America," and it was a pretty powerful moment because the whole venue was singing it with their lights on, and 30 minutes later, there'd be dead bodies in the same place that we sang that song. And for me, it was really me having to act, and it really gave meaning to people who run into the fire and who run away from the fire. And so the shooting, what we thought was firecrackers was going on. My wife said to me, "What's that noise?" And I said, "You know, it's really messed up that somebody would bring firecrackers here." And the next round of shots, and we heard a woman go down, and the boyfriend was screaming, "They shot my girlfriend." I knew at that point that we needed to get out, and I knew who was shooting was not in the venue, because normally there's some kind of scuffle amongst people, and there was just too many shots going off for somebody to have in a crowd. A few nights before, when we were leaving, I realized that there was only one way in and one way out through the front. And so on the run out, I was coaching my wife and family members to make a hard right, and we ended up towards the food area out by the church. I got them out first, and when I was trailing, a woman hit one of the food trucks. She had curly hair, white tank top, cut off jeans, and brown boots. Her face had hit the food truck while she was running. I stopped and tried to pick her up, and tore my ACL and other ligaments in my knee. Then I fell on the ground, which we can get to that part a little later. And so I went out of the venue, and my wife and family members were there. And my wife froze. She was telling me the passwords to all the bank accounts and telling me that she couldn't move anymore and that she was going to die. And I told her, I said, "Listen, you're too heavy to pick up right now, and we got to get out of here." And somehow, some way, she started to move. Now, we ran from there to the Tropicana, but unfortunately, I don't remember that. And so, and I have other people who saw me there. From there, we ran to the Hooters Hotel and stood in the parking lot while the bullets were still going on. You could still hear them. And I told them we needed to get out of there when the bullets stopped, because whoever was shooting was reloading. And we ended up running through the back of Hooters by pushing down the fence and running through a kitchen. And it felt like a pack of deer were running through a forest, because people were running full sprint into a empty kitchen, out through another kitchen, and out through into the casino. We ended up hiding in one of the restrooms with about 20 people, and we didn't know what was going on still. All we did know that we were in a building. And so my wife ended up panicking and going outside and saying, I need to get out of here. And she found an elevator that went up and said she was going up. And I told her she couldn't leave me. So I went back and grabbed our family members, and we went up to the second floor, which was a reception area or a banquet area with other people. And so we're all in this room, and Curtis, who I ended up meeting that day, I pulled him aside because he was the tallest and the biggest, and he had a big cowboy hat on. I said, listen, man, we need to get all of the guys in here and let them know that if anybody comes in here, we're all going to take them down. And so he says, I'm with you. So we called the guys at the center of the room and said, here's the situation. We're all safe right now, but if somebody comes in, we have to agree that we're all going to take them down. And they all did. We then triaged the room by tying doors together with computer wires that we found on the floor. And then we had the other people stack up chairs in the front. So if somebody was to come, they would have to climb over the chairs. While we were in the room, people were getting text messages or calls from their families saying that there was a shooter at Caesars, there was a shooter here, and there was a shooter there. And I kind of yelled out to the group, hey, like, we're all safe right now, and there's no reason to scare anybody unless it's coming from the actual police department of Las Vegas. I really don't care what your aunt says, we're all safe here. And we were able to calm the room down and eventually got out. It took us about 2.5 hours to go from the Hooters Hotel to where we were staying at the New York. We eventually went outside, and a policeman said to me, you can't go that way, it's cut off. I said, but we just want to get back to our room. And he said, well, if you go back on Frank Sinatra, there's an entrance, you can go in there. And we found ourselves a Uber driver who gave us a free ride. And it took us about 2 hours to get there, when it probably would have taken 10 minutes to walk, if that. And when we got into the hotel, we snuck in through one of the back doors, and the security stopped us and asked what we were doing. And we were telling them that we just wanted to get back to the room. And the casino was completely empty. It was such a surreal feeling. So we finally got up to the room and we started to make calls. I told my wife, listen, I got to drive. I just want to try to get a little bit of sleep. I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And she had the news on, and it just kept showing all of the footage from the people had got. And I maybe got a couple of minutes of sleep, if that. And I said, we need to get out of here. So we walk out thinking that it's going to be, protected. And the casino, it was like nothing ever happened. People were gambling, smoking, drinking. There was no security anywhere in there. It was a real strange moment, from going from completely empty to back to normal. So as you can imagine, everything was super loud. And so we go back home, and we make it back home, and we drop off our family members who were with us. And we immediately go to my mother-in-law's house, where they're waiting for us, and our kids are waiting for us. And it was such a good moment, because we were able to hug each other, and obviously we cried. And later on that day, I was able to see my dad and my aunt and hug them. And so it was really kind of a weird feeling to come back from that.